Trenton Journal is for people who won't take no for an answer. Trenton Journal is for community leaders. Trenton Journal is for people who won't settle. Trenton Journal highlights some of the positive voices in the community and fills in the information gaps through original reporting.
Welcome to Capital Conversations. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Kenneth Miles, Editor-in-Chief and founder of the Trenton Journal. Each episode, we bring you in-depth discussions with leaders, experts, and change makers who are making their impact in Trenton. Today, we welcome artist extraordinaire, April Cooper.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Listen, you've been on my radar for quite some time, and I'm glad that when we reached out to you to become a guest on our show that you said yes, because I don't think we've had too much discussions or interactions with each other, although you've been featured on the Trenton Journal
right, I think
magazine
I've seen you
cover.
at a couple of art shows.
And
we hang out, we talk about a little bit of art, but not sit down in-depth conversation.
So this is a first for you and I, right?
Yeah.
Are you as excited as I am?
Yes. Excited to talk about the art. Excited to talk about Trenton.
Well, we're going to do both.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's just start from the beginning. How did you become an artist?
I think I may have been born an artist and didn't realize it. I honestly picked up a pencil when I was about 11, and I was watching cartoons, and I was like, these cartoons are very simple looking. I think I could do that. And I haven't really stopped since. I've been creating for 30 years. Oh, okay. I haven't aged a day, though.
You just had a birthday.
I have not aged a day. Am I still 11? I'm still that 11-year-old girl.
So how would you say that growing up in Trenton has influenced you in your art?
Ooh, I didn't grow up in Trenton.
You didn't?
No, I was born here.
Okay.
I grew up in Salisbury, Maryland.
Okay.
But then I returned as an adult.
But you returned as an adult.
I returned.
But you was born here.
I was born here.
And you live here now.
Yes.
So, but how does you being a Trenton artist, being based in Trenton, how does that influence you, and what kind of support do you receive from the community?
I received excellent support in my experience. But I think just being here, seeing the people and the situations that you get into, it just reflects in my art. I do a lot about Black culture, and the Black community here is vast. And I, do things that show problems in the community that maybe I like to put a positive spin on it. And I think it resonates with the people in Trenton, which is why I always try to show in Trenton before I send my art elsewhere.
So how long have you lived in the city?
11 years.
10 or 11 years.
Yeah. Not to mention the few years when I was born.
Not to mention the few years. But so do you have family here?
Yes, most of my family lives here.
And some of your family, that's one of the things that I heard about you, was that you have a supportive family system. Whenever you have art shows based in the city, they're coming out for
cousins show out. The cousins show up and show out. Especially when I did Three and a Possible, the spades game. Those are my cousins. Everybody in there is my cousin. Even the ones that aren't my cousin, that's my cousin. And when they saw that I was creating that, man, they was like, we're going on tour. Where else are you sending us? Every art show. They was like, well, where are we going to be at next? It was amazing. I loved it. And then the painting I'm working on now, the cookout painting, is my dad's side of the family. So that's a whole nother group of family members. And they've been waiting patiently. They was like, now it's our turn. Now, when's the show? When's the art show?
Why is it so important to depict Black culture, Black hair, Black beauty in your work?
There is a representational problem, especially with Black artists creating Black art. if you look back in history, it's other cultures creating Black art. And even though they did create amazing works, it's something about being in the culture that hits different. I can't explain it, but sometimes you can just feel that I'm immersed in this painting because they know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about Black culture.
I want to talk about the business of being an artist, a working artist. This is what you do full time. This is how you support yourself, your family. When did you say, I can do this, right? Who were some of your influences and what process did you go through to become a working artist full time?
Well, I will always have the audacity because nobody told me that it was time. Nobody was like, you should do that full time. Go ahead. No other support. It was just something I was like, I went to school for art. I've always been doing it. What is the problem? Why am I not a full-time artist? And when I think it was about seven years ago, I was just like, yeah, let's get the website. Let's start selling art through there. It'll be fine. You know, maybe nothing will come of it at first, but at least I said I did it in my lifetime because that was always the goal. That was always the dream.
Did you have a full-time job before that?
I had a part-time job.
Okay, part-time job. And so the first thing that you did was set up a website. And did you start selling immediately, or like what was the process after you set it up?
The first thing I did wasn't actually set up the website. What I did was set up social media for the art. And people would ask me, they was like, "Oh, is it for sale?" And I was like, "No, it's for your viewing pleasure." And people would ask me, why is it not for sale? Are you just going to keep all your art? And I was like, it is becoming a lot in the house. And I was like, man, maybe I should sell. Maybe I should live the dream. But there's something amazing about that first. I do remember my first sale. It was my sister. Shout out. But she was just like, I just wanted to make sure it all worked right. You can do the shipping and the handling and how fast is the turnaround? She was just like, I believe in you. And therefore, I'm going to be your first customer. That's the love.
Do you have any influences that you looked up to that gave you the vision to do this full time as an artist?
I do have some artists I look up to. Amy Sherrill is definitely one of them. But at the time, I wasn't immersed in my local community, and I didn't know how many was here. Like the art community is here, is big. And the way they were just nonchalant living my dream, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And I can do this. I talked to Craig Shofed, and he was like, oh yeah, you should meet Buck. Buck will definitely, help you, and you can sell something, and there's no problem. I see your work. You're going to make it. The support here is crazy. That's amazing.
What about social media? You mentioned social media, and that was my first introduction to you. When my family and I, when we moved to Trenton, and I had a neighbor who was close to Selma Burke.
Oh, yes.
And somehow you popped up in my feed, and was it a TikTok video that you did, yes, honoring her? Mm-hmm. And I reached out to you for a comment at the time as well. How important has social media been in your rise, your career trajectory?
It's been extremely important. I don't think you can. Maybe you can. But I don't think you can be a successful artist these days without promoting yourself online. And social media is a big part of that. It's huge. Not just for the support, the direction. Sometimes they give you feedback. And then it goes directly to my website, which is how I support myself. And I'm telling you, the algorithm be algorithming sometimes, and it will direct you exactly where you need to go, and it will show your videos to people who definitely need to see it. And I'm telling you, it's been TikTok, it's been Instagram, and it's been Facebook Reels, and I have gotten sales from all three.
What percentage of your sales would you say is a direct result from your social media following?
About 75%.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
That's huge.
It's huge. The majority of my sales come straight from videos, and then and I sell all over America. I thought maybe I'd just sell here. You know, somebody want to be connected and support our local artists, but I didn't realize the support that would be so nationwide. I've sold a piece of art to every state except maybe Alaska and Hawaii. Every inland state, yeah.
So look to the camera and reach out to people who are in Alaska and Hawaii. Let them know. Put that on your bingo card, right?
What I need to do, let me know. I think it's just a smaller population. And I think the day will come. I'm looking at you, Hawaii. I'm looking. The day will come. I mean, certain states, I was like, in my mind, I think my customer is Black. Therefore, I was like, if there's no real Black community there, I'm probably not going to sell there. But that's not true. I looked at my demographics. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's almost every person.
Speak about the importance of looking at art as an investment that some people may not know. You know, the value that could be placed in art.
Well, I mean, it's all about supply and demand. And if the supply is no longer coming, the demand gets higher, which is why, I mean, the day where I pass, everything will probably shoot up in value and price. It's just, I mean, it's a sad thought for me.
Is that what artists think about? Like,
it's a sad thought for me because I probably won't see the change, but it's crazy. But yeah, you can invest in something, especially if they're popular now. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a stronger demand for it once that artist is no longer creating art, and then usually that's after that.
What has been your biggest selling piece to date?
Three in a Possible. The Spades Game painting.
Okay.
That has been the most amount of prints and the most amount of shows.
And how good are you at spades?
Oh, I'm trash.
Are you trash?
I'm trash. Every hand, I'm like, yeah, I got three in a possible, which is where the name.
That's where it came from?
I was just like, I got three in a possible, I guess. But the card sharks in my family appreciate the painting. And it wasn't my game.
Why do you think that Trenton has such a huge arts community, a strong arts community? What contributes to that?
I have no idea. It's been going on for decades, though, way before I was born. And it was nurtured young, and it just bloomed and grew. And I think it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. I would put my money on it.
How have you seen it change since you moved here?
More spaces are allowing art. More businesses that pop up are willing to have art shows. Even like my cousin has Hub 13. The first thing he said when he got the building was like, cousin, guess what? I got walls.
Is that Jock?
No, Phil.
Okay, Phil.
Phil Charles.
Okay.
He was like, listen, I got walls. You got art. Let's make something happen. I was like, yeah, we should do stuff there. And I'm telling you, every business that pops up is always willing to support something positive, something that's going to bring bodies in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good for their business, and it's good for our business. And so it's just a beautiful connection and support system. And I think that in the future, we'll only get bigger and we'll only get stronger. I can't wait to see the events that'll pop up. I want Art All Night to be what it used to be.
And what was that?
Were you not here for Art All Night at its height?
Not at its height, no. And for those who haven't had the opportunity, let us know.
Art All Night is a one night only art show. And all the artists from all around come in and they bring one painting. And there was audio events, live paintings, live sculpture work. There was food trucks, there were bands, and it would shut down the whole block. And people would come from all over. The next state over, they drive hours to come and see. And I think they're trying to build that back up. And I can't wait. I'm here. Every year that Art All Night has happened and I was in Trenton, I've done. It's the most beautiful event I've ever seen.
Wow. So are you going to attending this year?
Yes.
Okay. And your work is going to be featured, or are you just attending?
I'm going to be in the art show. I definitely have something going on with Mojo Life, same night as Art All Night. And it's just where Art All Night is, there's also other businesses that want to do events for Art All Night and support the arts. And you can see, once again, the community is just here for it. And I think this is a beautiful place to be an artist.
For those who aspire to be a working artist and to get to the level you are at, what does it entail? The business side. It's not just about painting. It's not just about printing. It's shipping involved. It's doing accounting, right?
Customer service. It's definitely some accounting, which was never my strong suit. Shout out to my accountant. Okay. But I would say if you are an aspiring artist, I would suggest you take a business course. I wouldn't even say at college, but like get your mind wrapped around the fact that you're going to be running a business. There's investments. Like I just invested in that huge printer. It prints up to 3 feet by infinity feet. And that was thousands and thousands of dollars. And now I have to put that on the books. Was that the right decision? It eventually paid itself off very quickly, but you got to make business decisions. And it's just it's so deep in the business side that sometimes you will forget that you are creative and you're supposed to be creating things for the business. It's having multiple jobs at once, because if you think about it, even the videos online I do, that's part of the business. It's causing revenue for the business. It's all the marketing for the business. I didn't know that I was going to be a business owner, but that's exactly what I am.
You're so good at doing those videos. What goes into them? Do you sit at a table or like plan out what it is that you're going to do?
Sometimes the videos come to me. Mm-hmm. I have a painting that's going to have to be done this month, and it's going to go with the Ghetto to Trendy series, where I find something that we used to call ghetto or have a negative aspect to it or a negative connection to it, and somehow other cultures have clinged onto it, and it's no longer considered ghetto because it's not just part of the Black community anymore. And it's going to be grills, and I already know the song. I'm obviously going to do Nelly Grills. I already have in my mind the videos planned out for it. And the painting's not even done yet. And the process for it is in so deep within my mind. It's just, it's like second nature at this point. It just comes to me, and I don't have to write it down, which I guess is weird to say out loud. I don't have to plan it. The last time I planned anything out, it was something so big, and I think it was a connection with a partnership with Netflix. That's the last time I actually had to plan something out on paper. Other times, it's either the algorithm feeding me something trendy, something that's come to my mind, or sometimes a family member will call me and be like, well, I think such and such is coming out with a song, or they're doing something. They're like, I think you should connect your art to that. I think it would do well. But the process is crazy.
One of the things that I enjoy that you do is you let your social media following know your goals. You write it out on this bingo card. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When will you say you made it as an artist? When you did what or accomplished what goal?
I mean, the main the main goal for me is to that I made it is when I feel like
you got the answer now, right?
the art team will come to my house, pick out the art, and leave me with a check. That is it. When I get to a point where these events will come to me, don't even get a chance to sell the art. They'll leave me with the money because they know they're going to sell it. That is the end goal for April. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but I've almost gotten there. I had the art fair 14C. They came
recently in Jersey City.
They came to my apartment, and the apartment was like, this is like halfway here. This is like, I'm almost there. They came, they went through my inventory. They took the paintings they liked, but I didn't get that check. But hopefully that's for like 80-year-old April. That's the vibe I'm looking for.
What's next for you?
Next, I got Art All Night. All the art festivals are going to start popping up in the summer. I need to apply to. And the Moja Life collaboration. So, yeah.
How can people follow you or purchase some of your artwork?
I have a website. It's artbyaprilcooper.com. You can follow me on TikTok, April by Design, Instagram, Art by April, and Facebook, Art by April Cooper.
And I can't let you go without asking, because before I started investing in art, and I have a couple of your pieces, some people may be intimidated by the price. Mm-hmm. Because when I started getting into art, there aren't a lot of prices on pieces. So, immediately I might think, well, I can't afford this, right? There's no price on it. What is your what are the price points for your pieces, your art pieces?
I have starting at the lower end. I have art prints that start about $60. They go up to about $120. Then I have original paintings, and they start about $700 up to $5,000. Which is, I get that they're on the pricey end, and maybe I couldn't swing a $5,000 painting when I really wanted it. But I do appreciate showing my art in Trenton because I want you to at least experience it. There's something about seeing and experiencing art that is important. And even if you can't afford it, or you only could dream about this investment, I want you to leave with something, even if it's just the experience.
And I always do this. I say, this is the last question, because questions keep popping up. But I want you to speak on the importance, or like the fact that you are able to be a successful artist, still live in Trenton. You don't have to go away.
Why would I go away? All my support system is here. Well.
And have you ever thought about moving away out of Trenton?
No, not recently. My sister just moved to Florida, and Florida sounds like a great place to retire. But I I'm sorry, what was the question?
Could you speak on the fact that you don't need to move away to be a successful artist in Trenton?
Oh, no. The support system is definitely here to keep everything afloat for the business. And everything that doesn't give me financial gain here, I get through my website. So I can actually do my job from anywhere, but I choose to do my job in Trenton. This is where all my family, friends, and my community is.
Your community.
I love it here.
Avery, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you again for listening into Capital Conversations, and thank you, April Cooper, for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and sign up to our weekly newsletter at trentonjournal.com. Until next time, thank you.